Happy New Year. Oh, wait.
Mazel tov.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls in that Technicolor rainbow between, it's your boy Trey Proper.
And filling in for Mr. Herb. So it's going to be your weekend, Mr. Petty. Y'all lucky I still got pants on. I'm sorry, man. I'm on vacation.
Hi.
That's Rick Stroh. Welcome to Blerds and Whiskey Live. We got a great show lined up for you as we do every week. We're going to get into some great topics. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. So first things first, gentlemen, what are you drinking on this week?
I guess I'll go first. I'm just new order. I'm making myself a Moscow Mule in one of those little Hilton Garden Inn cups because that's all I got left.
Yeah, tell us exactly where you are.
It's vodka, ginger root beer, ginger beer, and lime juice with the fresh lime squeezed into it over ice.
Okay.
That's cool. So, I've been trying new things here lately. This week, I am drinking Pruno or prison wine. I'm making it exactly how they make prison wine. So,
in the toilet?
I did ferment some fruit in the toilet in a plastic bag over the past couple months. And let me tell you, they're not doing too bad in prison.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Do you okay? So do you still use that toilet and then put it back in after you're done, or clean it and then?
Listen,
how does that work?
Let's not get into the details of scary.
I'm just saying, like, I keep telling you don't drink like a frat guy, but I don't know how to tell you don't drink like a convict. Like
every week, it's something new with you. Every week, but I'm not doing too much better.
I am adventurous and charismatic, sir.
You're drinking out of the toilet.
How's that piss water taste? Anyway, all right. I have purple drink, grape soda, and Kraken. So, purple Kraken? Sure, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah,
Kraken jizz.
So shout out to Weekend Herb. He's out celebrating his anniversary show. Clap it up for them. Was it 6 years or something? That's cool.
No one cares. Move on.
Let's go to those church announcements. I'll take over the church announcements. Herb's blurbs. No one cares. Move on. It's like, nah, we love you, Herb. R.I.P. to Michael K. Williams. We lost a phenomenal, great actor. He's always going to be Omar to me, but not because only because like that was just such a iconic role that he like as a true anti-hero. Same thing with Lovecraft Country. Mr. What was his name in Boardwalk on the other HBO show? Mr. Chalky, I think.
Rita gonna kill us. She know who it is. I can't.
Chalky White. Chalky White. That's his name. Yeah, like he's done so many iconic roles, and you can just tell like the craft that he had, like the love he had for the craft. It shows in his work, and those around him respected him. So there's a true tragic loss that we had. So. R.I.P.
He did a really, really great job for the tribute to DMX, where he brought the embodiment of DMX, reading through some of the lyrics of some of his songs and reciting them, and it was actually pretty powerful. He really did embody DMX. So, yeah.
Yeah, if you squint your eyes and turn your head to the left while he's performing, you might think it was him. Or maybe not. Maybe I just had too much vodka. So we also want to let's see what's another church announcement we got going on. In the video game world, Spider-Man 2 trailer hit. Spider-Man 1 was a phenomenal game. I still never beat it because I didn't play it long enough. I actually was playing it over Mr. Proper's house one time, and I got pretty far. At least I think I did. But it's one of those games that is like it's a short game, but you got to unlock everything, so you keep going over and over and over and over it. Like you got to unlock more. Like you want a certain suit, you got to do this. So the exploration of the game is what made it so popular.
I 100%ed this game. I 100%ed the Miles Morales expansion. I will be 100%ing Spider-Man 2 when it comes out.
Yeah, that game also gave Miles Morales a side mission, which could have been a sequel, but that's neither here nor there. I know J. Jonah Jameson was happy about that game because everybody was taking pictures of Spider-Man. So also we saw a trailer or a snippet, I should say, of Wolverine's upcoming game. which is made by the same people who made the Spider-Man game. So there's lots of hope for that one. And in case anyone has any doubts about how good a Wolverine game is, keep in mind, X-Men Origins Wolverine game was, although the bar was low, but definitely way better than the movie. But it was still like why couldn't they make the plot of the game the actual movie? That's what I want to know. But that's just my take on that.
Because that had less to do with them making money.
It was such a good game. I still have a PlayStation 2 somewhere in my room. I might look for that game to try to play it again.
So real quick, just going backwards real quick. The Spider-Man 2 trailer is very interesting, right? Because if you actually listen to the voiceover that's speaking, that is a Russian accent. So that is Kraven the Hunter. But then at the end, Venom pops out of the shadows and it looks like he's going after Spider-Man, but he's responding to Kraven's comments. So there seems to be a very interesting angle coming out with this game. And then if you made it to the end of Spider-Man 1, there's a different take on Venom coming for this game. So I am very intrigued by this and I can't wait to play it.
So speaking of Venom, guess who the voice of Venom is in the Spider-Man 2 game?
I know.
Tony Todd, Candyman.
Himself, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm kind of mad. I got to go back and watch the trailers.
Hey, that's what we're here on the show for. On Blerds and Whiskey. We let y'all know what's going on, so stay tuned.
Exactly. So I need to no. What I was going to say as far as the Wolverine game. So if it's made by the same company, I'm curious to know if it's going to be because we only saw a snippet. I only saw like a 10-second trailer.
Yeah,
sneak peek.
We saw a snicket.
Exactly. So I'm curious to know if it's going to be a sandbox. Oh my God! Shut up. I'm curious to know if it's going to be a sandbox or if it's going to be a linear game. Because if you put Wolverine in a sandbox, then we run into Wolverine playing GTA basically. So how is he can't berserker rage around the city? Like, how's he going to get around?
Hold on. Are you telling me there's a possibility where I can get 5-star SWAT team coming after me and I'm Wolverine?
And you're Wolverine? Yeah, that is that game in God mode. That is awesome.
Is Wolverine in the sandbox method? I'm going to be doing shit that I don't care. I'll be slashing pedestrians.
So I don't think it's necessarily going to be the GTA mode. So what we have with the Spider-Man game is you put Spider-Man in New York and just say, all right, it's shit going on, have at it. I wonder what type of location they'll do that for Wolverine. You know what I mean? Is it just like, hey, go through Canada and go to Tom Hortons a bunch and then fuck up some soldiers on your way there? Right? Tim Hortons. Excuse me.
So what's funny about the sandbox method? I think it was Web of Shadows. That's the one where you had an option of being like good or bad, right? Mm-hmm. You had like a tiny bit of symbiote in you, right? All right, cool. So my thing is that if you're Wolverine, I guess what if the good side is like more like Professor X-Men, but the bad side is more feral berserker rage? That could be like another interesting take. Like, of course, I would do nothing but straight feral berserker rage stuff. Like in Spider-Man in Web of Shadows, I'd be sitting there like web slinging, and if I do good missions like save a girl's balloon that's flying in the air and I catch it, my balloon, I catch it, boom.
I would shoot webs at it, try to pop that shit. Fuck that.
Yeah, it goes to the good guy category. But me being me, I'm sitting there web slinging my balloon. I'm like, pass. I'm going to Central Park to fight Shocker. Like,
I'm gonna be disappointed if the Wolverine game doesn't have the option for you to fight some Sentinels, and before you fight them, you yell out, "This is
for you, Marv." It would be awesome. So I don't know. And Chuck Clark, of course, in the comments, you can already play as Wolverine in GTA 5.
No one's talking about mods, Horace.
Talking about a legit game here. Legit game options. But I don't know.
With Steve Bloom as the voice of Logan.
Yes. So I don't know. I think a linear game would be good. I think we probably will get another version of X-Men Origins Wolverine, where it is linear. You have different sets and different boards you go to. They did the same thing with the Deadpool game on Xbox 360. So you'll get an endless amount of different enemies to fight. You're probably going to end up fighting Deadpool. God forbid you have to fight Magneto. But yeah, it should be fun. No, Sabretooth's fight should be good. And maybe Sabretooth would be another skin.
Maybe it'll be Liev Schreiber again.
Oh God.
He was
Maybe-
he was a good maniacal Sabretooth. He wasn't a good
Yes.
he wasn't a good feral Sabretooth.
I mean, which one do you like better? Do you like the feral? Or do you like the maniacal? I'm leaning
I like
towards
both.
the maniacal.
No, he's both though. That's just the problem. He's both. If you can get the physical build of Tyler Mane and the acting ability of Liev Schreiber and put him in the same character, that would have been a great, but we didn't get that. We get like mindless brute or skinny psychopath.
Either way, I like it.
Donna.
I like it a lot.
So speaking of, I don't know how we get transitioned, but speaking of psychopaths or paths in general, I don't know if y'all saw this trailer that hit recently, but Matrix 4 Resurrection hit.
I watched the trailer.
Matrix 4 Revolutionaries.
Actually, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was drinking this whole time, so I might be a little off my game. So I did mess up something. So I'm gonna go. So we're live. So let's go back to one more game that I failed to mention, which was the new Ragnarok game, I believe. Rick, you know more about that one?
God of War Ragnarok. The Kratos Angry Dad syndrome continues.
Yes.
And this
boy.
Exactly.
I just think he's just steadily roasting this kid. Boy.
Well, now Atreus isn't just a little boy anymore. He's now a preteen, so he's going to be even more fucking annoying. But then also, this game features.
I have one of those.
This game features Fat Thor, so that's going to be awesome. And he's not going to be wearing a hoodie and fingerless gloves. He's going to be showing up prepared to battle. And
with a crop top.
Exactly. And I am all for it. I am all for it. I love if you know me, you know that I've played every single God of War game. I 100%ed every single God of War game. I will continue to 100% them. I'm actually about to replay through the 2018 one. This Pruno is not helping me at all. I'm going to replay through the 2018 one just because I want to get ready for the next one, which comes out in 2022.
I feel like a lot of people are shitting on this particular Thor. I feel like this is a more physical, accurate Thor, especially of the Norwegian god. Also, like low key, if you look at a lot of power lifters and strongman competitions, they don't have like shredded abs and stuff like that. They're like, big traps, shoulders, guts, and like they're burly men, and that's kind of what this Thor looks like, is a burly dude. But you know what else is pretty nice about this particular Thor is his beard struggle. Like, I'm pretty sure this Thor probably went to our blerdsandwhiskey.com and went to, I say what is this promo code I put in? And he puts in,
Jesus.
tell him the promo code, Trey.
Blerds13. No, that's Blerds 1.
Blerds 1.
Beer struggle is Blerds 1.
So he went, hey, have at the Blerds 1, and he put in that promo code, and he used that, and he got himself some Odin's Bliss. Freya's Bliss, Odin's Virtue, some of the beard oils, the beard shampoos.
Food.
Yeah. Hey, look, hey, real talk. I've done the whole process a lot of times. I'll do the shampoo, then the conditioner, then the oils, and then the balm. And then my beard is soft. Wow. Like daytime oil, nighttime oils. Sometimes I do nighttime oils because I wear masks. And that would be like healthy, soft, and glistening.
Yep. And when you put the balm on, it holds it in place for the shape that you want.
Correct.
It's good to go.
Correct.
So as far as Thor in this new Ragnarok, so for those of you who don't know, kind of a spoiler for this, but at the end of the last God of War game, Thor shows up because Kratos, of course, he's killing Norse gods. Of course, he has it. He's killing Norse gods, and there's a cutscene at the end of the game where you just see a guy standing in the backyard, in the background, and lightning strikes, wind blows, and you see Mjolnir blowing underneath his cape. So this is going to, and if you didn't know, Thor is classically, he's not a good person. He is not a good person at all. He straight R words and pillages like a Viking should, quote unquote. So this is going to be interesting.
So this is canon Thor.
Like in the story of the 2018 game, he kills a frost giant just because the frost giant is out for a walk and he was drunk and wanted to fight.
Yep.
So I can't wait to kick the shit out of this fat bastard as Kratos.
I mean, don't fat shame. Don't do that. Come on. You were a little
I wasn't. I wasn't.
I mean, let's be real. He's a bastard and he's fat. So I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
You're right. I'm just speaking literally.
I mean, let's be real. Most majority of gods are bastards. Let's be real. Like all the gods up there, Norse, Greek, they're all bastards. They're selfish.
Egyptian.
Yeah, all of them. They're bastards.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna transition, but we'll just go Matrix 4.
As you mentioned earlier, the trailer dropped this week. Matrix 4 Resurrections is the continuation of after what is it, been 20 years since we had Matrix Revolutions?
It's been less than 20 years because if you keep in mind that we were in college when we saw Matrix Revolutions, Trey.
It's been like 15 years.
Because I was in high school in 2003. The second movie came out. When 1999, the first movie. So I took this time after I didn't even know it was coming out, and I'm sitting there with Lil Trey, and I'm like, "Yo, we got another Matrix movie coming out." He's like, "What's the Matrix?" Sit down. HBO Max. Play. I made him watch the first two movies. I'm making him wait purposely to watch the third movie, so just so he can get a feel of it. And I was like, so pretty much everything that you've referenced, that you've seen in media.
Yeah, it's like, keep in mind, it's like 6 hours, dude. They can't.
I'm making him. I got the first. No, he enjoyed it. I got him watching the first two in one night, and I'm saving the next one for tonight. So I'm making him wait purposely because I want him to get a full. Because remember when after Matrix 2 came out, we had to wait. Me and you we had to wait. And we were in the theater, we were watching Neo on the table, and then we see Smith on the other side. Like, what the fuck? What's going on? So,
and that's the first movie. That's the first movie I ever saw that said "to be continued." Like, wait, this is a motion picture. Y'all put "to be continued"? Yeah, that's it. The first Matrix, I believe is okay. So the second one was Revelations, right?
Yes.
So it's Matrix 2 is Revolutions, and Matrix 3 was Revelations, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, the second Matrix.
I forgot because they both sucked.
The second all right. Actually, okay. Give me a second. The second Matrix ended with it said "to be continued" because what they did is they did the Lord of the Rings method where they filmed one solid movie at the same time, and what they did is they cut it because like Lord of the Rings they filmed it all at the same time and they just cut it and just released it whenever they could or whenever they wanted to. They did the same thing with the Matrix 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah, they filmed both movies at the same time, and then they decided to like release them whenever they could, and it was like 1 year apart. Me personally, I probably would have said let that shit wait. I would have been a year and a half. Like let the DVD sales pile up, let the DVD sales work its way, and then release the third one. But they just literally released it within 1 year of each other. Because they had both of them, and they didn't want to sit on that money. They wanted to, get that quick buck. So, in conjunction with what Rick was saying about how both movies kind of suck, I feel like as an individual 2 and 3, it did kind of have a lackluster. But here's my theory, and I will die on this hill. If they shorten 2 and 3 to make one movie, like because each movie was like at least like 2 to 3 hours, almost 3 hours each. So, but if they shorten and cut a lot of the exposition out and cut like basically like 2 and 3 into one sequel, that sequel would have been the greatest sequel ever. It would have surpassed like Terminator 2. It would have surpassed, yeah. As far as like how
you're saying a lot right now.
No, but think about it. When Terminator 2 came out, so for a long time, whenever a sequel came out, you're like, all right, it's a money grab. It's bad. It's whack. It's whatever. Terminator 2. Not only did it have a story continuation, but it made sense and it even was better than the first. That was the first sequel in a long time that was better than the first one. Matrix 2 and 3, in my opinion, if they shortened, took like an hour and a half of each movie and put it together as one solid sequel, just Matrix 1 and then Matrix 2, that second Matrix not only would have surpassed the first one, but it would have been like top tier sequel, like in an upper echelons of movies. It would have been record sales. It would have done all of it. Go ahead, Rick.
Real quick, let me shout out a couple, 3 people. Thank you, Fabiola, Chuck, and Obsidian Mind on YouTube. It is The Matrix Reloaded, and The Matrix Revolutions.
Thank you.
I would say this: the Matrix Reloaded will always stick out in my mind because it had one of the greatest car chase scenes in the history of cinema ever. and I defy you to debate that because it was amazing, and it ends with fucking Morpheus cutting an Escalade in half with a samurai sword.
Yes.
It does not get any better than that. That was
So,
awesome.
I mean, does it really count as a car chase if it was all CGI though?
No, it wasn't all CGI. It was not all CGI.
No, it was green screen though. It was mostly green screen.
The car crashes, with the exception of the agent jumping on another car to another car. The car crashes were not CGI, and they reused that same footage for one of the Transformers movies, I think.
No. The Transformers used the footage from the island. It was Michael Bay films. The Wachowskis don't do that. But camera guys coming in.
They built their own faux highway because real highways couldn't be shut down long enough to film the scene. They built about 6 miles of highway that has been reused in Hollywood for quite some time. Like nobody did that before.
Yeah. I remember that also because I watched the behind the scenes specials that came out. Because if everybody remembers, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, they weren't just movie sequels; they were whole events. Because there was a cartoon series that went with it. There was a
Animatrix.
There was a video game tie-in into the movies, into the Matrix, with Jada Pinkett with the little shit balls in her hair, and the little Asian guy who was her sidekick.
Bantu Knots.
Oh my god.
Bantu Knots. Put some respect on that entanglement.
No, until I stop getting followed around. Once I stop getting followed around corner stores, then I'll put some respect on it. Anyway, keep on talking about the Matrix.
So what I was going to say is that in showing Little Trey, I had to explain to him that this style of movie making, because now he's been growing up watching movies with me, of course, Marvel movies, stuff like that. But most action films, we have the stop, cut, edit fight scenes now. And I was like, you see anything different? And he was like, yo, they're really fighting. They were like, you actually see Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne actually trading blows. They're not the best at it, but there was a minimized amount of stop, cut editing as far as the fight scenes. That changed over when we had Reloaded, but
I say the stop, cut, shaky thing was all because of Bourne Identity.
Mm-hmm.
That Bourne Identity and Taken, I believe, is what the masters of the shaky cam stop, film from this
over
angle,
the shoulder,
over the
trying
shoulder,
to get a first person view.
I want to see the masters of making people who can't fight look like they can fight.
Basically. So this was, and it's incredible to see these actors. And the other thing I said, I was a Trey. You know who that is, right? He was like, I don't know. That's John Wick. No, it's not. Trey, that's John Wick. It's not John. That's a totally different guy. Dad,
for him to see John Wick as like a young skinny dude is crazy.
Yes.
Oh man, the thought process. That's a mind blow. That's like me watching Sean Connery from his 20s.
I'm going to disappoint him later tonight by showing him the final film, and then we're going to go watch Resurrections and see. So, what do you guys think is going to happen in Resurrections?
I don't know how many more Jesus metaphors can he fit in a film.
That's the whole point. He's the one.
So I think we're in the 7th iteration of the Matrix, because I know a lot of people didn't like Reload. They didn't like the architect scene in Reloaded because it's a bit wordy. But I'm someone who loves Quentin Tarantino movies, so I can power through dialogue and dissect it and understand it. And he told Neo that this is the 6th iteration of the Matrix, and there have been 6 different versions of you, and you're just the 7th one. And the only thing that makes you different is the fact that you have a love affair with a woman. So that's why I believe Trinity is showing up again. And honestly, I think there's going to be some type of connection to where their power bases are based with them becoming almost one. You know what I mean? Like their relationship makes them like they basically take 2 and become 1 somehow. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I know Yahya Abdul-Mateen is playing a young version of Morpheus. So I think there might be some type of reload to certain events from the first Matrix that are coming in this Matrix. So I mean, I'm really intrigued to see where it's going.
So go ahead, Trey.
I was going to say because I just think this. We had in Reloaded, we had the introduction of the fact that they are programs besides the agents. So I truly think that Neo is a program, and I also think that Trinity is a program as well. That's why she's reoccurring in the Matrix. I know they never announced it that the other incarnations of Neo fell in love, and that was what changed things. There could be a possibility that she is a program as well. And also at the end of the third movie, we don't know if Neo died or not. It's never been confirmed. Yes, he gave himself up, but his body was taken back into the Matrix. So I think he was still alive. He's been reinserted. And I do agree this is the seventh introduction of the Matrix. They just kept it going. They released who they wanted to release, and they kept the vote to the people. Son of a bitch.
So I got one thing to say about the whether he's alive or not. He's dead. They killed him. Like, his body was dead. His mind conscious, if you recall, he made a deal with the Matrix to go back into, because the Agent Smith, once he realized what his programming was, and he defied that program, like the way programs and hacking work, the program is supposed to do what it's supposed to do. The moment it deviates outside of that program and it goes against its own programming, it becomes a virus. Sometimes viruses are programmed to be viruses, but when Agent Smith was supposed to keep things in line, became conscious of what the thing in line he was supposed to do, and he decided to attack, he became a virus. He literally was overriding the Matrix. So what Neo did is Neo made a deal with the computer or the Matrix, I should say. And it was like, look, I will go in, take care of this virus. Let's make peace with the humans. That was the peace treaty. So there's several other things that made Matrix, Neo, this particular Neo, or the sixth or seventh iteration.
Seventh. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Now, comments on Facebook, Darren Smith is saying that this new Matrix movie is only following after the first Matrix, which, I mean,
I don't think so.
I haven't heard that rumor, but it wouldn't make any sense for some of the symbolism that we're seeing in this movie. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that are showing like a continuation of the third one. Actually, if you look at the trailer, there's a part where they show Neo's body from the third one with his eyes burned out, being reinserted back into the battery fields. So I mean, I guess so, maybe, but I'll take your word for it, Darren. But I'm gonna have to do some more research into that.
No. See, the thing about the Matrix is because it's the sixth or seventh generation or reiteration of it, that means they just recreate the same generation over and over again. So I'm assuming every 20 to let's say 60 to 70 or 70, we'll say 70, 80 years, they kind of reboot the Matrix in a way. Pretty much. So in my opinion, I think the computer or the Matrix is a millennial because it doesn't want to live out past 1998, 99, because it realizes that everything past that sucks. So it's like shout out to the Good and Terrible show. Travis is stuck in 97 to 2003 because it will not refuse. There's no mumble rap in the Matrix. There's no Trump. There's no the Matrix stays in the 90s.
No, it's only Jordan. There's no LeBron or Kobe. None of that. Just
Kobe's still alive. They don't do anything crazy beyond 2002. Soulja Boy is still a boy. He's
well, Soulja Boy is still the hottest rapper out right now.
Right, saying people still using HTML codes on MySpace to hack the Matrix.
Yeah, Rough Riders is still a motorcycle club / hip hop.
The thing about the Matrix that I wanted to say that I do find so interesting about it is that it's the Wachowskis have their own interpretation, and this is the thing about art that I love. It's open to any interpretation at this point. Literally, if you think my brother, shout out to the honorable Reverend McCall Jelani Caldwell. My brother turned the Matrix into a sermon. So when I tell people that
you're about to preach to us, aren't you?
No, no, no.
I was about to say.
All I'm saying is that anyone, when with the right imagination to flip it, can as you see something in it, you can turn anything into your interpretation of how things go. So with the Matrix of one person seeing things and several people realizing that this is everything's going against the grain and then reprogramming it and starting all over. I see it so many iterations. Some people the Wachowskis turn they used to be Wachowski brothers, now the Wachowski sisters. They saw themselves in writing the Matrix as identity changing stuff like that. Like especially like even though he go by his Neo, the agent kept calling him Mr. Anderson, so he was dead naming him. So like it's so many different iterations and interpretations that people can pull from it. And I don't think that's what I say whenever someone says I think the Matrix is about this. I never say you're wrong, because like it could be anything at this point. It could be like at this point, especially in this day and age, we can make it about vax versus unvaxxed versus vaccinated. You know,
God, please no.
Seriously, you can do that.
I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
No, cool, go.
No, I was just I agree with him with what Mr. Weekend, or I'm sorry, Vacation Petty is saying, but I just don't want to get into it. Like, no, I don't want to. Just whatever. Yeah, I agree. Whatever you believe it is, it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, when the Wachowskis are hitting on all cylinders, I mean, it becomes very influential to our society. Like, look at what the first Matrix has done to our society. You have phrases like red pilling. You have going down the rabbit hole. You know what I mean? I feel like they are refocused and they're recentered with this one. And I honestly think we're on the verge of getting another one that could be very, very promising and very, very just as influential as the first Matrix. Because the first Matrix, if you look at it, it changed movie making, because even you still see the influences from the first Matrix to this day in movies, and even with the with that viral marketing campaign, like it went right. It's gone right into movie making right now. Like the majority of the movies we see have like that viral movie making or that viral marketing that goes into everything, where they're tying in video games, putting it on Dorito bags, putting it on bottles of Mountain Dew. There's a cardboard cutout in the grocery store, in the 7-Eleven, everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's tied into technologies. People forget there was a Matrix. There was a Matrix phone.
Yes.
Samsung made a Matrix phone that it flip up and you could turn it to the side and it would spin around like Neo did on the pole and reload it. So I mean, it's just, that's why I'm very, very excited for this movie. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see the symbolism. I can't wait to break it down. All of that. It's just I'm very excited for this. And then also we get to see.
I love Animatrix too. Like that, like the side story. Like, so the thing about Animatrix is like you didn't need to watch Animatrix, but when you watch Animatrix, it's like, oh, that actually explained what they were talking about in between part 2 and part 3. Like what was it? I forgot what was the ship that gave the signal to the main colony. Like they died to send out. There was that Rogue One. They died to give like the message to the main colony for Morpheus to realize like, oh, okay, the machines are coming. Side note about Morpheus though. Someone actually asked why Lawrence Fishburne didn't reprise the role of Morpheus when everyone else is reprising their roles.
Have you seen him?
No, he simply just said no one asked. He was never approached.
That gives me a sour pill.
Well, I mean, let's not rush to judgment because we have an attachment to an actor before we see the direction that they've gone in. We have no real point of reference as to why they chose to do that.
Yeah, I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it because of that. I'm just saying that's a sour pill. Like that's going to leave. Out of the entire meal. That's one bad sour taste.
That's a green pill.
It's steak, but it's not steak. Oh man, go ahead, Trey. That was trying to transition.
Yeah, I was about to do the same thing.
Go for it. There you go. Go for it. You're so.
We should come together in an amalgamation of both our powers at the same time. That's what we should do, and just create a whole new character. Weekend proper. No, I'm. We got a character of the week for you.
You could say we're having an onslaught of bad jokes.
Oh jeez, yo, just run character of the week. Let's go. That was terrible, y'all. Y'all made me stop talking for that.
Look, they got to channel Herb here. Somebody's got to channel him.
Character of the week. So today's character week is pretty much the love child of Professor X and Magneto, Onslaught. The origin of Onslaught, I would say, began in X-Men 25, Fatal Attraction storyline. That's when Magneto ripped the metal off of Wolverine's bones. An act so horrific that Professor X had no choice but to, he didn't really kill him, but he used his psychic abilities and wiped his mind out. basically put him in a coma. I don't know, that weird like comic morality, good guy can't kill, moral code thing. That's pretty much what I don't get it. So subconsciously, Magneto's hatred and frustration of humanity manifested into Xavier's conscience, combined with his growing frustrations of failure after failure, the legacy virus, dead mutant children, anything negative and harboring that frustrations that Professor X have, combined with that, eventually formed Onslaught. He tried to recruit Jean Grey, that didn't work, and then when she finally put two and two together, she realized that Onslaught was Professor X.
Who saw that come? Who saw where that came from?
But through that also gave Bishop a purpose again, because for a while, for almost 10 years, you forgot that there was a traitor amongst X-Men, which is the whole reason he came from the future.
For the future! From the future! Your future ends now!
He apologized to Gambit, but that was whack. The Onslaught manifests himself into a physical form. He looked like a combination of Magneto with Professor X, or so he's supposed to be. But he looked more like Magneto if he drank the mutagen, the green ooze. Looked like Super Shredder. Onslaught tried to absorb the powers of X-Man, who was like an unbridled psionic version of Cable. He also tried to absorb Franklin Richards, the son of Reed and Sue Richards from the Fantastic Four. Basically, that would have given him the psychic abilities of Professor X, the magnetism of Magneto, the unbridled psionic abilities of X-Men, and the reality-altering powers of Franklin Richards, which made one massively overpowered, a mega-level crossover. That's all it really was, just a crossover event. It took all of Marvel to defeat him. Jean Grey decided to suppress Banner inside the Incredible Hulk, in which pretty much made the Unbridled Rage Berserker Hulk. Through all that strength and power, he was only able to crack the armor. But through that crack of armor, they were able to get Professor X out of Onslaught upon realizing that he was the only thing holding him back. By the way, when I mean all of Marvel, I mean all of Marvel tried to stop him. The Watcher even got involved, not really physically, but he was more like nudging people along, like, hey, Apocalypse, you should do something. Apocalypse is like, survival of the fittest, that's my whole MO, that's my motto. If they can't survive Onslaught, they're not fit. And he's like, yeah, but he wants to like warp reality, which means that you could die too. Apocalypse is like, huh. But yeah, basically all of Marvel was able to defeat him. Once the armor was cracked, he was just left as just sonic energy. With no body to inhabit, Thor was the first to think, all right, you need something physically to strike, I'll do it. And then they realized that he needed more bodies, so all the heroes decided to sacrifice themselves. As the X-Men was about to do it, they realized that the mutants were the only ones that could actually have any type of physical effect on him. Avengers, Fantastic Four all dived in and basically gave a physical form for all the mutants to strike, subsequently killing off all the Marvel heroes. Come here. What it really was that the boom period of the 90s, this is the downfall of it, the decline of it. DC Comics had Warner Brothers, so they had money to back them up. Marvel, this is before Disney, this is before all the movies, so they were bankrupt, they had nothing. X-Men was the only thing that was selling, X-Men and Spider-Man. They did a soft reboot, so they killed off Avengers, Thor, Fantastic Four, Force Works, all that. What I mean by soft reboot is when they thought they were killed, turns out that Franklin Richards, with his reality warping powers, manifested them into a blue ball, into a sub-pocket dimension called Heroes Reborn. Because comics. They even hired Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld, which gave us that picture. So, all that to say that if you look at now comics Way of X, Onslaught's making a comeback. Back to you guys.
Like, share, subscribe.
You know,
Stop. Shout out to myself. Y'all can follow me, hashtag Camism, 2 words, KAMISM, hashtag. I'm on YouTube. I upload the characters of the week every Monday morning. So you can follow that along with whenever I start doing the live podcast, my own podcast, spin-off podcast from Blerds and Whiskey, highlights from there. I want to say, when I ended that Onslaught thing, I was part of the things I was sharing was like the boom period of the 90s comics. If y'all remember, that's when a lot of first issues, that's when variant covers. As Rick, tell about the 2 covers you had, Onslaught and Age of Apocalypse.
So I had an Age of Apocalypse metal cover. It was like a 2-sided cover. You could take it off. You like you peel back one cover and it would just be a completely metaled out cover. That was one of my favorite comic books. And then also I had the first book of the Onslaught series that had a hologram of Onslaught on it. It's about that big of a hologram, but once you moved it, it would turn into separate Xavier Magnetos. And then once you flip it a little bit, it would turn into Onslaught. So that was pretty damn cool.
Yeah. So you probably bought that for two reasons. One, it was cool, and two, it might be worth something later on.
Exactly.
That was the majority of what happened in the 90s. A lot of people thought that, oh man, because someone said one time long ago, I think it was Wizard Comics, when they started releasing price guide of comics, and you start seeing that Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man number 300 that had the first appearance of Gwen Stacy was worth a couple $60,000. You're like, hold up. I had that comic when I was a kid. I can find a comic now in the shop, and they sell it for $100 because they don't know the price of it. So that along with a lot of Image Comics and first issue comics, Death of Superman, all these crossover events, there was a big influx in people buying comics. Comic book shops weren't nearly as prevalent as they were until the 90s, when more and more people needed comics. So then, along with the boom or the rise, there was a fall, because once people realized that they saturated the market and that there really wasn't that much money being made from it, people stopped buying those comics that were interested in money. So then you got people, diehards such as us, who were left with the wake of failing comic sales. Like I said, DC had Warner Brothers backing them up. Nowadays, Marvel has Disney backing them up, but back then they had nothing. So one of the things I mentioned a couple of episodes ago in Blerds and Whiskey was the state of how I feel with superhero films, especially Marvel. There is everything now is being judged on box office sales, and if it doesn't do the Avatar or Avengers Infinity War or Endgame numbers, it's considered a failure now. Like, they don't count whether the movie's good or not. They just want the box office sales. And Marvel, for all of its greatness that we're experiencing, all these great Marvel films, such as, shout out to Shang Chi, there is a formula for a successful hit movie that they're following that I feel is taken away from the individual or integrity of individual films now, which is kind of the reason why the guy who played Happy Logan, he stopped directing a lot of the Marvel films, because Marvel started getting too involved in the films as opposed to being independent films, which is why I still hold Phase 1 to such high regards as like, oh man, these movies are individual movies that had like one or two tie-in scenes. Nowadays, they kind of just it's like one giant like Netflix TV series, where it's like, this is one, you have to watch this movie to catch up to find out what goes on in this movie. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Yeah. So if y'all want to take over now, that's cool. But like, that's kind of where I feel like, especially Shang-Chi. I love the movie. It was a good movie, but it had a Marvel formula that was so like, laced in it that I was kind of like, can you just give me a movie and not a Marvel movie for once?
I mean, we're for right now, it's been working. This might be the opportunity for them to change it, because it only cleared 35 million in its first week, as opposed to breaking the $1 billion box office, especially with the Asian market marketing behind it. They probably had high expectations. I'm sorry.
COVID numbers have changed. COVID numbers have changed the expectations of what they're looking for.
And also,
I agree.
Real talk from what I've also figured out, a lot of like, China is a big market for a lot of the Marvel films. Mm-hmm. Based on who they've got playing certain roles, this isn't going to do well in China. It's kind of like a weird colorism thing that they have issues with over there.
Yeah. We are well familiar with that, but No, what I'm saying is that it with the exception, now keep in mind, we know this. The higher ups at Marvel, the executive, the shareholders, they're just thinking, put this movie out exclusively in theaters, and it should break the bank. They're not thinking.
It was an experiment.
Yeah, they were, but they did this thinking that they would be able to pull those people out of their homes, so to speak, and make them go to the movies to go watch somebody that's a representative of them. I don't know if he had his mic on for that, but
keep going.
So, but yeah, they did that on purpose. It was an experiment, is what I was going to say. But I mean, as far as the rating system, those who have seen it, it is on Rotten Tomatoes, 92%, 98% audience score. So it's got good ratings. but money, this just doesn't have behind it. I think they should have done a dual release because their streaming revenue would have been awesome on this, and it would have got a lot of people who've been on the fence as far as their decision whether or not to get Disney Plus. It'd have pulled them over just because they wanted to see it. So now, me personally, I did enjoy the film. I thought it was very formulaic. You know, it is a Marvel film, and I guess I've gotten kind of used to it. I've gotten adjusted and acclimated to just all right.
Do you like it though? The Marvel formula
for what it is.
So answer me this.
To get tired of it.
Okay, answer me this question. What's your favorite food? Both of you. Just answer it right off the top of your head. First thing that comes to mind.
I don't know. Some with chicken and rice, probably.
5 rings of shrimp fried rice.
Okay. All right. So you like that's your favorite thing. That's your go-to meal, right? So
yeah.
Let's say somebody started introducing something into it, right? Like, oh, I don't know. What's like you meet a different type of chef who all of a sudden wants to start introducing, I don't know, what's something that you really dislike the taste of? For me, it would just be if they started I love I'm a burger person. I love a good burger, right? One thing that I don't like that people love to introduce into their burgers is heirloom tomatoes.
Avocado.
No, I love avocado. No, but heirloom tomatoes or a fried egg, a fried runny egg. I don't like either of those things, right? Wow. But I love a burger, but people love those things on their burgers, right? So what I'm trying to say is I like my burger. Keep giving me my fucking burgers the way that I want it done. Don't start adding heirloom tomatoes and don't start adding fried runny eggs to it. I like the Marvel formula. I like the Marvel formula because honestly, like I get where people are coming from, and it's just you want to see. I'm looking at the bigger, like this is a part of a giant puzzle. I don't go into it looking for a nice indie. If I wanted to go see an indie film, I would go to the Cannes or I'll go to the Toronto Film Festival. I'm looking at it. I want to see this. I want to see this big ass puzzle put together. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not like most people and have the attention span of a piece of government cheese or a piece of lettuce that's been sitting on a counter all day. I can handle the grind of pacing it out and seeing the greater story that's at hand. I understand where you're coming from with the whole it's formulaic and thing. The shit works. You know what I mean? It's like a fucking.
It does work.
It's an Oreo cookie. You know what I mean? It's an Oreo cookie. So I don't need that fucking flavored Oreo. The basic Oreo is good enough. They done did the good thing. They done fought the long fight. It's done. You know what I mean? Like
off camera guys laugh.
Don't get me wrong.
He's laughing at
Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. Like I said, it's getting tiresome, but I agree with you. You know, I'm a fan of it. I like it. I'll enjoy it. I like 5 wings of shrimp fried rice. You want to make it pineapple fried rice? I'll take it. It's still the basis of what I like. You want to put some cilantro in there? I'll take it. That's the basis of what I like.
But no, I'm talking about they add coconut to your shit.
No.
All right. So here, all right. That is a really good. That really is a good analogy. I like that.
Yeah. So
that's a good analogy. I like it.
I did enjoy Shang-Chi. It was I kind of wanted more from the Mandarin. I'm not going to spoil what happened as far as the changing of the character, but
it wasn't the Mandarin though.
It wasn't the Mandarin. It was, but they couldn't do the classic Mandarin because that would be quite racist, to be honest.
Yeah.
They couldn't do the Mandarin, and they also couldn't do the classic Shang-Chi villain. I'm not going to say his name because it would be incredibly bigoted of me. But yeah, they had to combine the characters to get what you got. So I mean, I know people get attached to certain characters and they want them to be certain things that they were in the comics. But you also have to realize and take into effect, we don't live in that world anymore. A lot of the characters that we grew up with reading and hearing about, they're incredibly problematic this day and age. And they can't just put it out there. Like, I mean, do people want the real Red Skull out there calling Magneto a dog? Like, is that what you want to see? Like, no. So I mean, it's just like you got to take. You have to. You kind of like. It's a fluid situation. You know what I mean? The world is ever changing and the comics have to be changing just as well. I'm just happy that we live in a world where you still get to see these things brought to life and brought to life in a very good way and not that that ancient Fantastic Four movie, not the one where the thing looked like he was wearing a rubber suit.
Roger Corman.
There you go.
Roger Corman directed that one.
The perfect example of this is that episode of Justice League Unlimited where they go back in time and Green Lantern is flying next to the Flash.
Oh my God.
The Flash was really? You're a credit to your people, son. Green Lantern's like,
yeah. He was all like, it's an honor to work beside you, Red Streak. And he goes, work beside you. You're a credit to your people, son. And Green Lantern was like, yeah.
Hold on, a little bit more context. It wasn't Hal Jordan Green Lantern. It was John Stewart who looked at him like, the fuck, old man?
Yo, he had that moment where he was like, is this worth it? Should I punch my idol in the face right now with a giant green fist? And he's like, look, all I gotta do is just manifest something to trip him up. No one's gonna know. No one will know. No, okay. So back to your hamburger analogy, Rick. That's like saying, I mean, I get what you're saying. It's a burger that you like, and it's done this way. I'm good with it. Continue with this way. Y'all just perfected my burger. I like it this way. Don't add anything else. This burger right here is good. That's the equivalent of saying, like, I like this Big Mac. Don't add anything else to the Big Mac. I'm good with this Big Mac, as opposed to like this guy over here who does like a gourmet burger, or this guy who does a burger medium instead of well done, or you know what I'm saying. So like for me especially with Shang Chi, what I mean by the Marvel formula though is like, okay, instead of fighting like an actual like final boss per se, they have like mindless drone things coming at them instead of like Infinity War. Thanos, instead of having a big fight with Thanos, they mainly fought like these like paratrooper dog things or whatever.
Yes.
In Shang-Chi, they had the wings with the paratrooper dog thingies, whatever the soul-sucking things that they did.
But we do have, in those movies, we do have the big bad fight. So in Endgame, we had the fight that we wanted to see. We did almost, because they didn't throw the Hulk in there, but we had Thor, Cap, and Iron Man fighting for 10 minutes without any interruption. That was beautiful. But that was also a combination of all their little fights against the little soldiers leading up into that point. So we did get it. We're going to get that again. Shang-Chi, he may not be a main character as far as at the end of this phase, quote unquote.
I don't know. They definitely built him up to do something now.
Oh yeah, especially without spoiling. But yes, watch the movie.
By the way, no spoilers.
I don't know, because we don't know who's going to be we don't know who's going to be the new big three going forward. Right now, we do know Thor is still in there. We don't know who else is going to be there. Hulk is still there. We might have another big three of the Avengers.
And Captain Marvel would have been one of the big three, but Brie Larson acted like she was a cardboard cutout in her solo movie.
Well, you should watch Shang-Chi.
Yeah, you got to watch it. You should watch
Shang-Chi.
Well, I'm sorry, I've been busy, fellas. I can't get to everything.
If only Marvel or Disney released it on Disney Plus, we could have actually had Rick Stroh see it. But they did only release it in theaters only. So
exactly, Kevin. Why didn't this get released on VOD, Kevin? Excuse me, Disney Premiere, Kevin.
No, actually, Kevin doesn't really hold much decision on that stuff, though. Although Kevin Feige, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like the Marvel formula. Another thing that Marvel formula that they did is with Awkwafina's character. Like she was pretty much like our avatar in the movie. She was like that normal person going wow to everything. Even though we've had like this is like the 10th alien invasion. We've had like the world people snap, and then people come back to life. And at the same point, you're having dinner with someone saying like, "Hey, I did this and I fought a dragon." They'll be like, "Yeah, right. Dragons aren't real. Oh, but aliens are." Like there was a whole.
She's the character. She's the character that in the script they don't have a name for. It just says exposition dump.
Pretty much.
Yes.
She's like, well, what does all this mean? Well, in 10,000 years ago, and then they start explaining like this plot. I'm like, you're just telling your whole village history to some random stranger, just because we need to know why this particular statue is important, you know. So yeah, and then she's also not funny, but they try to give her like these quippy lines. So it's like
she's a comedian, so you know.
She's not a good comedian, though.
Debatable.
Yeah, by job definition, yeah, she is a comedian.
Yes. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of quips, did y'all see What If?
That's where I was going. Yes, I did watch it. It was morbid, but I expected that from this episode. It was good. I enjoyed it. I kind of, now this is one that's made me want to see the rest. I want them to continue that story to see where it goes. But ultimately, I think we know. If you read the Marvel, so for those of you who didn't see this, what if it was based on the Marvel comic, Marvel Zombies, which was its own standalone comic where everybody got bodied, just about. Like pretty much, they ended up taking over the whole universe with zombies, and they kept their powers after they turned. But this, it did steal a couple of things, like Black Panther being kidnapped by Hank Pym, by Vision actually, and fed to Wanda, which is kind of funny. But he did spend the rest of the series with one leg missing. So I mean, I enjoyed it. It was very, very entertaining.
I feel like, especially since I know Robert Kirkman, who made the original Marvel Zombies, because the first iteration of Marvel Zombies was actually a ultimate Avenger storyline, and then because he had some success on Walking Dead, they made Robert Kirkman write Marvel Zombies, which is like one the difference between Marvel Zombies and What If is that the Marvel Zombies still maintain their intelligence, thought processes. I don't know about conscious, but they still maintain the intelligence of knowing exactly what is going on, as opposed to the What If Zombies, where they were pretty much more like the George Romero version, where they were just mindless, like brains type people. So I feel like that element kind of missed the mark on certain fight scenes. Like imagine if the Winter Soldier Captain America fight, the zombie fight, but he actually understood exactly what's going on, and he knew Bucky and remembered Bucky, and was like, that would have made that fight more dramatic. I feel like, as we discussed before, the issue with What If was that it was 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. They had to fit like all the zombie tropes, quips, Marvel way, and everything in 30 minutes. And although they hit some things, that was still a good episode. They missed a lot too.
They also closed up some story arcs in this episode of What If, because Cap finally got to eat out Sharon Carter.
3 minutes. Jesus. You couldn't help yourself, could you?
Goddamn.
I couldn't. It was just sitting right out there. Somebody had to do it, and I did it. But
go ahead. I'm gonna say real talk though. They also did acknowledge Uncle Ben for the first time in the MCU, because they've never mentioned him in any of the Spider-Man films. They never mentioned the name Uncle Ben. I think the most we saw was like a briefcase that said UB, which I'm like, what? Oh, did it say UB or did it say?
It said Ben Franklin Parker, BFB.
BFB. I'm gonna say, why would he put the initials of Uncle on there?
Right? He's only known him as Uncle Ben, so he just puts Uncle Ben on the shit.
I legally changed my name to Uncle Ben.
No, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it is amazing that this is the first time they have actually acknowledged them. I'm just thinking about that. But I think they do that because it's been played out so many other times, which is kind of funny, because now we're going to reintroduce those other movies in this new one where they've played that out a bunch of times. I wouldn't be surprised if Uncle Ben walks through a portal at some point saying,
he's like, I'm alive?
Do the right thing. And they have yet to, in the MCU, they've yet to mention with great power comes great responsibility. So they could be saving it up for an Uncle Ben cameo. And would it be, is that guy still alive who played Uncle Ben with Tobey Maguire? What's his name?
So wait, so hold on. So what you got to keep in mind, in this particular MCU, Marissa Tomei is Aunt May. So that means unless Uncle Ben was a sugar daddy, she got what's his name?
What I said was a portal opens up and Uncle Ben comes through the portal.
So
Uncle Ben's dead everywhere.
But we got like 3 Uncle Bens to choose from technically, but only 2 have been seen,
and they're all dead.
So I hope that the reason why Tom Holland is so connected to Tobey Maguire, if Tobey Maguire is in this movie, is because they have Tobey Maguire play Uncle Ben and Peter Parker at the same time. I think that matches up as far as like ages with Marissa Tomei, because Tobey Maguire is almost 50, and it would just be a cool little shout out and connection type thing. So I really hope they take that angle. But I don't know. Go ahead, Trey. What are you about to say?
I was just going to say that they could do that, but they're more than likely, if they haven't, they had a comic a couple of years ago called the Spider-Verse, where all the Spider-Men came together, which they could pull ideas from that. One of the Spider-Men was Uncle Ben. He got bit by the spider, and he had Peter Parker as a sidekick, and of course one of the villains killed him. So Ben Parker was like, Spider-Man. Great.
Did he become like Thomas Wayne?
A little bit. He
had web shooter pistols.
But his grandson made his tech. He made his web shooters for him. So, I forget. I can't remember which villain killed him, but he ends up dying, and then he carries on.
Green Goblin. Green Goblin's always killed everyone that Spider-Man cared about.
Willem Dafoe coming back as Green Goblin. I'm just hoping that they make this, like, they could fill so many holes and just make these characters standard in MCU. I know it's probably not going to happen. They're going to go back to the respective universes, but I would just like to see these characters going forward. I want to see Alpha Moray as Dr. Octopus going forward. I would love to see that.
So
see that.
One thing they did do in the What If episode, which I did find pretty interesting, is he kind of did like a parody. I don't know if y'all seen Zombieland. Anyone familiar with that one?
Yeah, of course.
They kind of did like a how-to handy dandy. Oh, yes. This is what you can do if you get attacked by zombies. One of the things they mentioned was something that Mr. Propper's always been saying: wear long sleeves. Like if they touch flesh, stop exposing flesh. I don't care how hot it is, to stop exposing flesh. I don't know. Maybe I think I don't know. They mentioned the central nervous system or hitting people in the head. I don't know. I remember sometime on YouTube I saw this guy who was breaking down the best martial arts to fight zombies with. If you run out of bullets, you got a hand-to-hand combat thing. I don't know. It was a weird YouTube rabbit hole that I went down. All I'm saying is that one of the things that he did mention that would be terrible, especially dealing with zombies, is grappling or jujitsu. Like that makes no sense in fighting zombies. Like why would you give him an arm bar when he's going to bite your leg? I don't know.
I'm gonna put this zombie in a rear naked choke. Oh, right. I got bit. What?
Right. Why do you have a zombie in a triangle chokehold? He's going to bite everything. So why would you put that in his face? But all I'm saying is, if you do decide to try to do grappling with a zombie, what you can do is you can go on blerdsandwhiskey.com. You can go into our promo page. You can find FNX Fit. You can type in the codes FNX Blerds 13, and then you can decide that you start building the muscle up. So if you do decide to rip a zombie's head off or throw a zombie, you'll have some strength behind it. And then you get your pre-workout, your post-workout, your CBDs, so you can heal up from all this stuff, and you can actually get some freaking muscle to throw a zombie through a wall.
Hit That's a motherfucker with another motherfucker. Let's go.
Yeah. Use a zombie as a weapon to smash other zombies. They're rotting flesh, so it doesn't mean much to rip the arm off. But you got the strength to do it.
I was wondering where you were going with that, and then at the last minute, I saw you turn into that brick wall, and I was just like, "He's gonna do a FNX Fit promo." You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Oh, geez.
And you sit here wondering, like, how's he going to do this?
Well, it's been fun. We have to roll out. As always, if you enjoyed our content, please make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe. Tell us to your friends, whatever you got to do. Sorry, a little drunk. But yeah, hit me up. It's your boy Trey Proper.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do the her part. So we'll go ahead and do it. So y'all put your glasses up. So up to it, down to it. Fuck those who don't do it. We do it because we used to doing it. Drink, motherfucker, drink. We out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and that technicolor rainbow in between, it's your boy Trey Proper.
It's your boy Big Herb.
And thank you for watching Blerds and Whiskey.
Be sure to like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms.
And check us out on blerdsandwhiskey.com.
Be sure to get that merch.
And come take this shot.